Hello and welcome to today's edition of Diplomatic Passport, your daily weekday COVID-19 show that keeps you up to date with Zimbabwe's effort around COVID-19, global as well as regional trends. My name is Blessing Munatsi, and this program is brought to you by ZTN in partnership with the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services. As usual, we start by taking a look at the latest figures released by the Ministry of Health and Childcare yesterday. 213 new cases of COVID-19 recorded from 6,075 tests conducted, and this represents a 3.5% positivity rate and takes the number of active cases to 3,110. One death was recorded, bringing the cumulative fatalities to 4,616, and the cumulative number of COVID cases now stands at 130,485, and of these 122,759 are recoveries. Zimbabwe currently has 112 hospitalized cases of COVID-19, and of these 15 are new admissions, 28 are symptomatic, 63 mild to moderate cases. 18 of those that admitted have severe symptoms, while 3 are in the intensive care unit. Going on to Zimbabwe's vaccination program, 11,557 people received their first dose yesterday, bringing the cumulative for the first dose to 3,072,033, while 18,691 received their second dose, and brings the cumulative for the second dose to 2,248,001. On the issue of vaccination still, WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus and other global health leaders issued an urgent call for vaccine equity distribution globally, and particularly with the shortages in Africa. This as Africa has managed to just vaccinate 4% of the population versus a 70% target that has been set by WHO for the year 2022. Now, apart from financial constraints that obviously affect the supply chain in terms of vaccines, there is also the issue of vaccine hesitancy, and this has had an impact on African vaccination programs as they were rolled out across the continent, with much speculation being fueled the possible effect of vaccines on the genetic makeup, or what we will term the DNA. This could be the most popular circulating misconception around messenger RNA vaccines, and will alter your DNA. This is what other people believe, that the content that is flooding on social networks, and the WHO has dispelled these rumors. COVID-19, they issued a statement as messenger RNA vaccine technology has rigorously tested for safety, and the clinical trials have also shown that messenger RNA vaccines provide a long-lasting immune response. The messenger RNA vaccine technology has been studied for decades, including in the context of vaccines against the Zika virus, rabies, and also influenza. Messenger RNA vaccines are therefore not like viral vaccines and do not interfere with human DNA. That's the WHO statement that was issued in response to those concerns. But we did get in touch with a UK-based doctor, Zimbabwean doctor, Dr. Brighton Chireka, who explains the vaccines and how they work when they get into our bodies.
We do have the DNA. Our DNA is protected in the cell, but part of the cell which contains the DNA is called the nucleus. And then we also have outside the nucleus, we also have what is called the cytoplasm. So I want you to imagine that the cell has got two circles. The inner circle is whereby the nucleus, where your DNA is kept. And then the outer, the second circle that is encompassing that nucleus is where the cytoplasm is. And then in that cytoplasm, you've got other organs called ribosomes. The ribosomes, they make proteins. So what happens is that the messenger RNA, which is part of the vaccine that is with Pfizer, Moderna, when it gets into your cells, it goes into the ribosomes. So the ribosomes, they will make protein. So it will activated to make proteins. When it makes the protein, is the protein that is produced, and that protein comes out. When it comes out, your body would react to that protein and think that this is COVID-19, and it will fight it as if it is fighting COVID-19. When it has fought it, it will also have memory cells which will be kept, and those memory cells, memory soldiers, would recognize if in future you get infected by a similar strain of the virus, you'll be able to fight it, you'll be able to overcome it. In most cases, you won't even, if you have any symptoms, you won't even you've got symptoms, you may have mild symptoms because you've developed what we call immunity. What happens to that messenger RNA? The messenger RNA, after a few days or so, it will be broken down and it will disappear. It will be excreted from your body. Does it affect your DNA? No, it does not affect your DNA. Your DNA is protected in the nucleus, and the messenger RNA does not even get to your DNA. It just goes to the ribosomes. So the message to everyone, I want to make it clear to you, the vaccine, the messenger RNA vaccine, will not affect your DNA. So do not panic, do not worry. After taking the vaccine, you will not become a different person, a different human being. I got my vaccine, 2 shots, and I think I'm still Dr. Chireka.
Well, we also spoke to pharmacist Lenmo Zwada, who did concur with Dr. Chireka and also highlights the vaccines approved for use in Zimbabwe.
At the moment in Zimbabwe, we have 5 vaccines against COVID-19. 3 of the vaccines, they are inactivated viruses. So what it simply means is that they contain copies of the virus, but they have been inactivated so that they don't, infect you. But what they will do is to trigger your body to produce antibodies, and these antibodies will fight off infection if it so happens that you get infected. So we have Sinopharm, Sinovac, and Covaxin. Then for the other 2, that is Johnson & Johnson and then Sputnik 5, these are based on what is called viral vectors. So what it means is that they have the genetic material of the virus, and then it is packaged in another virus which is harmless. And also, it won't make copies of itself when it gets inside you, but it will trigger your immune system to produce antibodies, and these will fight off the infection. The problem that we're having at the moment in Zimbabwe, even globally as well, we have people who are shying away from vaccines because there are misconceptions circling on the internet and in many social circles. People saying that some of these vaccines, maybe they'll alter your DNA, but these theories, they're not based on any scientific evidence. There's no scientific explanation to corroborate these rumors. Because, for example, mRNA, what we simply do is it will simply get in your body, and then it will instruct your cells to make viral proteins. And these are not fully formed viruses, but they will be recognized by your body, and then the body will just start making antibodies, that specific, for the coronavirus. So.
Okay, so there are other questions. Is there a need to get vaccinated if one has suffered COVID-19 before? People argue that their body will have natural immunity, that is antibodies to fight the virus in case of reinfection. Well, the World Health Organization, WHO, also touched on this issue, and the WHO's chief scientist, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, explained that when we need to know about the natural immunity versus the vaccine or the artificial induced immunity. Let's hear what he has to say.
Getting COVID, people do get an immune response, but this varies from person to person, and it depends on whether you had a mild infection or whether you had more severe infection. And we know from many studies now that if you've had a very mild or asymptomatic infection, then many people may have very low levels of antibodies that they form. So this is why we still recommend that even if you've had COVID infection, that you should go ahead and take the vaccination when it's available to you, because the vaccine then serves as a boost to the immune system. So the immune system's already seen the infection once, it's seen the virus when you had the natural infection, and then when you receive the vaccine, it sees the antigens again, it's reminded of the antigens, the memory gets boosted, and the immune response generally gets stronger and broader and is likely to be more long-lasting.
Well, there you have it. That's how the body, or rather vaccination, helps in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, making sure that your body is well prepared in advance for any infection. That's all we had for you on Diplomatic Passport this afternoon. Many thanks to all our viewers. This program is, of course, brought to you by ZTN in partnership with the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services. We are back again tomorrow with more updates around the COVID-19. My name is Blessing. It's bye-bye for now.